Hey guys, welcome back. So lately there has been an increasing emphasis on security. And in fact, it seems as that everybody in America is getting either really woke or really tactical, one of the two. So, and we do understand that a homestead, part of homesteading is an aspect of security. And prior to us ever really talking about anything offensive, let it not be said first that we at least discuss the aspects of at least observation and illumination, which are some of your best tools, right? And we talked a little bit about flashlights, and now I'm just going to talk a little bit about optics and why it is important to actually, have the ability to observe your surroundings, whether that be from predators. We have a major hawk issue here as well around the homestead. So, and we have families of hawks that decide to reside in some very mature trees that we have, around our neighborhood. So what that means is that we constantly have really cool birds, to observe. And when you do have a garden, that does attract some really interesting birds. But aside from that, the reason why I'm showing these as opposed to the spotting scope primarily as well is that these are also good sized binoculars to keep in a vehicle. And so I'm not going to really show any of the full size. I guess I'll show the spotting scope here, but the point being that I think this pair right here, my wife has had for probably 15, 20 years, easily. And they were something that she would observe the races with, NASCAR races. So, but and they're a good binocular for just, and I really like the Bushnell brand. I've had lots of things that were Bushnell over the years. So these are, pretty old, but they still stand up, and, my wife prefers these, but these are an excellent size to keep in a vehicle. And I suggest, these aren't what would you call it, stalker size binoculars. These are more, hey, I'm in a traffic jam, what's going on up ahead size binoculars. So but it's always a good idea to at least be able to observe. Observation is your, pretty much your best way of avoiding any conflict is observation. This is another pair. I pretty much started carrying this pair. And I don't know, Nikon's a fairly decent name, but no matter what you choose or what you keep in mind, whatever your budget is, always remember that most of these, if you look somewhere, are going to say made in China. That's upside down, right? So that's made in China. These are made in China, and this is made in China. Really nice case, tripod, whole 9 yards. It's a really nice spotting scope, but it's still made in China. So keep that in mind with your budget. But I highly suggest you have the ability to, anyone who does any long range shooting as well probably already has a spotting scope or understands that, it's a lot easier to see the target when you have something like this. But like I said, aside from that, it's a really good idea. So observation should be one of the best things. And we will talk a lot more about security and a lot of the current needs that people are asking about in field today. But we're not going to talk about it from the aspect of a Minuteman, because that's not who we are. At best, we would be scouts, right? At best, because we're not really looking for conflict. We're just looking to manage a really good homestead. So, all right, guys, you have a good one.